20-minute high-intensity interval training workout in with me and Brandon. And we got the setup changed a little bit because we always have this board, but no one can ever see it. So we finally have it where everyone can check it out. And this is what we're going to be doing today. This is going to be the band version, but we're also going to do body weight. There he is. Yo. Brandon's here.
Good morning.
We've got a looks like a band photo right now.
Yeah.
Now all we need is Mark Wahlberg.
Exactly.
Then we'd be a funky bunch.
Yeah.
So hello everyone. Thank you for joining.
Thanks for joining in. Got Instagram as well. Hey guys.
Yeah.
I'm sure hopefully everyone by now kind of knows what's up. Every Saturday morning, doing a live HIIT workout. And this morning, if you missed last Saturday, we're doing a banded version and a bodyweight version. So those of you who have bands and those of you who bought the Buff Dudes bands before they sold out, they're kind of tangled right now, but yeah, you can use these for the high intensity interval training. Hudson's gonna be doing the banded version and I'll be doing the body weight. So we're pretty excited about that. Hopefully you guys are too. Hopefully you guys are ready to join in, get a good workout in. We're gonna do some mobility, warm up, get ready to get buff as blank.
Fill in the blank there.
Keeping it PG.
Exactly. So we're gonna start warm up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Seeing a lot of hearts on Instagram. Thank you guys.
Ooh. Yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. Ooh. Get ready. Get that warm up. We got our water here. Grab some as well. You're gonna need it.
Oh, yeah.
So today, if you joined us last week, it's gonna be very similar. I will be doing the bands and Brandon will be doing the body weight. So whether you have bands or if you just got your body and a floor, you can follow along with Brandon. For those of you who can see the sign right here, these are all the band movements we're going to be doing today.
Yeah, for Instagram, if you guys are interested, since you can't even see it, unfortunately, this is kind of doing a little bit of mobility.
Oh,
there we go. Here's the workout. There it is.
I'm going to crawl towards the screen.
That is the band workout.
Yeah.
And you'll see Hudson performing this.
Hey, everyone.
It's going to be pretty intense there. And then I will be doing the body weight, which is very similar, and but just as intense for sure. So hopefully you guys are ready.
Yeah. Love seeing the comments. Thank you all. Sorry we can't reply to all of them at the moment. We're getting ready for the workout, but we do see them coming in. So thank you. Love seeing all the highs and hellos. Hope everyone's doing good. We're just getting our warm up in. You can see Brandon in the back there. I'm doing a little bit of a body weight squat, getting ready. This is going to be full body. And if you're joining us for the first time, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. And it's going to be full body, like Hudson was saying. So what you want to do is get your mobility for your lower body and also your upper body. As you see, Hudson's doing some pass-throughs. We're looking at the shoulder, mobilize. I'm doing some squats, full body squats, getting hips mobilized here. You can kind of, do a little rotation in there. Get your thoracic spine ready. But other than that, really you can do some jumping jacks, do some jump ropes, whatever it is, jog in place. Get your heart rate up, blood flowing, because once it gets down to it, this is going to be pretty intense. It's going to get your heart rate up. It's going to get your muscles fatigued. And I swear, every time I do this, it kicks my butt. So hopefully you guys are going to join in and get your butt kicked with me.
There's going to be a whole bunch of butt kicking.
Yeah. So, I think
you're pretty set up. You do a little bit more mobility.
These old bones.
I know, right?
Now, Saturday morning, it always sneaks up on you for sure. Long week, probably worked out most of the week, and then you want to sleep in on a Saturday morning, but you know what? Buff dudes don't sleep in. They're the hardest workers in the room. I know Rock tries to think he is, but the buff dudes actually are. I don't know if that's entirely true, but at least we try to be. That's the important thing.
Mental fortitude. You convince yourself. The power of sheer will.
Absolutely.
So we're setting up our timer right now. You're going to have this right here.
See it?
What it's going to be is going to be 10 exercises. Each exercise is going to be 4 sets. All the exercises are here on the board. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. You're going to follow along. We get a lot of comments every single time going, this is your guys' workout? Well, what it is, it's our weekend workout. So during the week, we'll do a lot of our typical workout stuff, barbells, dumbbells, mobility bands. Today is the more cardio-based full body.
This is what we do for fun.
Exactly.
No, but yeah, it's just a workout on top of the week-long workouts. It is actually a lot of fun, you know. It really pushes up in a different kind of area. Our workouts typically are, you know, can involve supersets and things like that. So it's still pretty, you still fatigue the muscles, you still get your cardiovascular kind of like, you know, stress in there. But this is just a little bit more. And even just doing body weight or maybe bands, the resistance doesn't have to be super high, but you still feel pretty amazing afterward. You get a good pump and feels damn good. So it's just a good added, you know, thing to your weekly workouts.
Oh, you never have too many workouts.
That's for sure.
You can, but don't overtrain. This is our Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah.
Grown-up version.
It used to be cartoons. Now
Yeah.
it's workouts.
Oh. Because you want to become the action hero. That's the goal.
That's right.
Oh yeah. You don't want to watch Wolverine or Batman. You want to
Become them.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're getting pretty close. For those of you who are going to follow along with us, make sure you got your mobility, make sure you got your water, and make sure you got space. Not too much of it, as you can see. It's a little tight here for me and Brandon, but it's enough. It's going to be the 10 exercises we're doing. If you got the bands, Brandon's going to be doing a body weight version of all these exercises.
Which I got my list here to remember. Those of you who don't know the body weight, I'll go over them real quick. For body weight, it's going to be squats, body weight squats. It's going to be scapula push, then push-ups, then Russian twists, then split squats, then Supermans, then pike push-ups, praying mantis push-ups, T-curls, which is doing curls with your T-shirt. You'll see those if you tune in. And then calf raises to end it off. And 4 sets each with a little bit of a break in between each set. So yeah, it's a tough one for sure. So who's team body weight?
Who's team body weight? Let us know. Who's going to be doing body weight along with Brandon?
Yep. This is team body weight. This is team band.
Hit up the comments.
Oh yeah.
Emoji.
That'll be actually interesting. At the end of the workout, we'll take a tally on how many people did body weight, how many people did bands, and who thought which one was tougher.
That's true, because if you did bands last week, try body weight. If you did body weight last week, try bands.
Yeah.
Let us know which team you want.
I think body weight's tougher.
I'm actually probably going to agree with you. Well, that was easy. That was an easy victory.
Yeah.
So if you want a little bit of the, I don't want to say easier, but maybe not quite as intense, try the bands. And if you want to be a little bit more, I would say intermediate, almost advanced, go with the body weight with Brandon.
Although you do banded squats, so you're doing resisted squats, where I'm just doing body weight. So I'm sure there's some exercises that are a little bit more difficult. And I remember you said last week that some of the exercises you chose, the bands that are a little maybe too light.
Yeah.
So hopefully this week you'll
learn my lesson.
Yeah. Go a little bit heavier.
That's the great thing with the bands. You can choose your resistance. So, I mean, if you want to make this super intense, you can just go with the heavier gauge band. If you want to make it a little easier, you can go with a smaller band. So that's a good point that Brandon actually made. You can kind of resist the difficulty of the bands depending on the kind of band you use. I think we've done a lot of talking.
Yeah,
I think it's time to shut up
and start these muscles working.
We're shutting ourselves up and we're going to get this workout started. So, here we go, everybody. Gonna start the timer. We're getting started with squats.
Yep.
Here we go. And
we're gonna, is it working?
No. So
that was a false start.
Exactly. We like to do the false starts. Yeah. So we're gonna see if,
put some music on.
Exactly.
Get
ready.
Be enveloped by our grunts and moans and heavy breathing, or your own for that matter. Hopefully it's your own.
Okay, here we go. 5 seconds.
Here we go.
2,
1.
Oh, here we go.
This is the almost soothing part, I feel like, of the workout. But it's the beginning.
It is.
It only gets worse from here.
And we got our choreography going on strong this morning.
Yeah. Thankfully, we have the image of the phone computers to kind of see make sure we're in timing.
It's not a boy band, it's a buff band.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
We just can't sing or dance.
No, we can't.
Ooh. Bodyweight squats are probably one of the best exercises, bodyweight exercise, I feel like, that you can kind of, I mean, you can use it for so many different reasons. I mean, it's functional, it's a great way to mobilize the hips, and it's a good teaching tool as well. I mean, if you want to find out about yourself, something about yourself, try out bodyweight squat and try to perfect it, and that will go a long way in not only your workouts in the gym, but also life in general.
It's kind of like a spiritual journey.
It is.
You find out more about yourself through your performance.
You do.
On the squat.
Or if you want to find out more about someone else, you ask them to do bodyweight squat, and then you go, oh, okay, now it's almost like your astrological sign.
That'd be a very interesting first date. Do a squat now. So we are on to, believe it or not, our final set of squats already. And I'm going to be moving on to bent over rows.
And I got scapula push.
Oh yeah.
All right, my legs burn a little bit.
I was
Squats firing up.
Yeah.
Getting a little hot. Might have to shed some clothing. That's why I was wearing layers.
Very smart.
Slowly shed it.
So we both started with the same exercise. Now you'll see I'm doing bent over rows. Brandon's doing scapula push. A little bit of a variation there because, of course, my exercise is impossible with body weight.
Yeah. Can't really do body weight bent over rows. I mean, you could do inverted rows, but that's if you have like a bar or chairs with a dowel or whatever. Takes a little bit more of a setup. So scapula push is pretty simple setup. Obviously, it's not working the lats as much. You know, it's more working the traps with scapular retraction and protraction there. But it's still pretty difficult, surprisingly difficult actually.
And the part where Brandon's workout's going to get really tough is you're going to be following the scapula pushes with push-ups.
Yeah, that's probably, yeah, I'll go that to the least.
It's not easy.
Yeah, it gives you a damn good chest bump. No, that's the one good thing. That's what you just got to convince yourself. You're doing it all for the pump.
For those of you who are working out alongside us, great job. Man, I'm feeling it. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. You'll also feel this in the scapula push if you're performing this exercise a lot in the quads. And if you are feeling that, no worries. It's just being in that plank position. Your quads will be, contracted to help stabilize your legs, especially after doing those bodyweight squats.
And this is our last set of back, and we'll be moving on to chest with either the push-up for body weight or chest press with bands.
Oh, there we go.
Whew. That's a killer. Those rest times go real fast.
Yeah.
When we get quiet, that's when it gets serious.
Yeah.
And feel free to grab a different size band if you feel like you want a little extra resistance. Because I know Brandon's suffering right now, so I got to make sure I'm right there with him. Put a lot more activation now that I grabbed the larger band. Ooh.
Oh yeah. It's a pump off. We're gonna see who gets better pump.
That is very true. And I'm feeling pretty damn pumped. So we're midway through the either chest press or push up. Be moving on next to the side crunches for me and the Russian twist if you're doing body weight alongside Brandon. Oh, that's killer. Wow. How you doing, Brandon?
Yeah, burning. Definitely burning in the chest. Feeling tight.
Toy. So our final set of chest. This is the one where you gotta power through it.
Oh, yeah. Wow, muscle fatigue. Big time. For me, it's on this Russian twist. I'm very happy about letting my upper body rest a bit. Big time.
With the side crunches here, what you want to do is loop the band into your opposing foot. Get a nice stretch there. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't want it too loose, so you're not going to really get much activation in the obliques. I'm going to try to get as much as you can.
Russian twist. Simple but very effective. Just sitting on your hips there. Do it elevated or feet touching the floor. Your feet on the floor is going to help stabilize a bit more. And might be able to concentrate a little bit more on the abdominals that way. Whew. You really got to focus on really turning your upper body from side to side, just not moving your arms. Some people make the mistake of just kind of doing this with their arms. You really want to twist as well as crunching your abdominal by flexing your spine. And that's really going to make those abdominals fire up. Oh yeah, did that good burn.
As you can see, I changed band size. And that might be what you do as well throughout the workout, because you want to find the one that works best for you. This feels a hell of a lot better. We are on to our final set of the side crunches or Russian twists. We're going to be moving on to, for me, the Romanian deadlifts.
And I got split squats. Wow. I had to quit a little early on that.
Oh yeah.
That was burning. Okay.
So back to legs, which is a good thing because they've had a little time to rest here. Doing some split squats, in that kind of lunge position there. Oh yeah. And these ones, the farther you step forward, you get a little bit more activation in the hamstrings due to the more stretched position in there, but you do a bit of a shallower stance or step forward. It's going to be focused a little bit more on the quad and glute. And I got to say, this workout for me is very intense, going with a heavier size band, and you feel that difference immediately. We're a little bit on balance in this one too, the split squat, since you are really, it's kind of more of a unilateral, focusing on one leg at a time, although the stabilizing leg, when that's kicked behind you, you'll still feel a little workout in there. It's just a little work in there to help balance you out, but you really have to engage that core, and that'll help you, keep that proper positioning so you won't fall from side to side. For those of you who are following along, hell yeah, you're doing great. Keep going strong. Maximize those rest times and hydrate. Oh yeah. We're on to our final set, the Romanian deadlifts and split squats. Going to be moving on to, for me, the good mornings, for Brandon, Supermans. Oh man. I hate Superman. It's like the Zack Snyder's version where Superman becomes bad, tries to kill you. We should call them the evil Supermans.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah. Woo. Moving on to the good morning. So putting it right around the neck, just like how we did with squats. You bowing forward. Bring yourself back up to top position. like to keep my hands behind my back. For me, it makes it a little bit easier. You're gonna feel that immediate activation in your lower back with good mornings and with the evil Supermans.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, really focusing on the extension of the spine there. And yeah, those erector spinae muscles are really gonna fire up.
Ooh. What a way to get a Saturday started, huh? And of course, if you are having trouble performing all 4 sets of an exercise, you can feel free to take a little bit of an extended rest by sitting out the 4th set.
Yeah.
Which sometimes we feel like doing from time to time.
Oh, yeah.
There's certain exercises, such as the Supermans, which maybe don't look like the most intense until you pair them up with everything else in this workout. Then you finally get to these and you're feeling pretty shot.
Yeah, I feel like this is, it really goes to show, it shows you your weak points. I think Superman is a weak point for me.
This is kryptonite.
Yeah.
So the good news is we are on to our final set of lower back. We're going to be moving on to shoulders with the shoulder press for me and
The pike push-ups for me.
oh yeah. All right, here we go. Very similar to an overhead press. I really love these ones. So stance is going to be just a little bit wider than hip, and much like with a traditional barbell press, you're just going to be bringing it to your clavicle, lifting right up top of your head there, squeeze, bring it back down, bottom position. Oh, there we go. And I'm going to try it out with a heavier band. I got to keep up with Brandon here. He's doing body weight, but
Share my pain.
exactly. There we go. All of you following along, hell yeah, you're doing an amazing job. Keep going strong. Might feel a little bit of instability when performing the banded shoulder press. If you haven't done it before, that's actually one of the benefits of this exercise. A little harder, but working on the stability is a nice little bonus there.
Oh yeah. Pike push-up is kind of nice. It's almost like an assisted handstand push-up. Oh yeah, really hitting those delts, those straps, triceps, secondary muscle group.
I am feeling this big time. Ooh. There we go. Final one. Gotta grab that water as fast as I can. Those 10-second rest times go real quick.
Too quick.
Just now for one little set, on to our final set. Then we're gonna be moving on to triceps. Shoulders are just about done. Had to get one last rep. There we go. Moving on to triceps.
I got the praying mantis push-ups. So I'm gonna do kneeling. I think it's be damn near impossible to do it with your full body weight.
I can already tell this is going to be the most difficult exercise to get through today. Great thing about bands, you can adjust your difficulty. I'm going down a little bit because that was just killer. When we do the front double bicep, that means we're still alive. Great job, everybody. Doing awesome. Oh, man.
You know, I like this kind of stuff because it really pushes you to your limit. Oh no, I think I lost Instagram. Shit.
Here we go. Still going good. Got 2 sets left. Good job, everybody. Keep going strong. You got this. That was hard. Taking that rest time.
There we go.
Brandon is still with us.
I did. Fix my phone. Just in time.
Oh yeah. He maximized every 10 seconds of that rest time. We're on to our final 10 seconds of triceps. We're going to be moving on to biceps.
Oh,
that was brutal. That's crazy. Curls. This is the flashy one. This is where you get that killer arm pump. We just hit triceps, moving on to biceps.
this one, a little balance in there too. These T curls on one leg there. So
this is that nice pre-party pump exercise. Show up, run to the bathroom, do a couple sets of T curls. Yeah. You're good to go.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Feel good.
Oh yeah.
How's everybody doing out there? You feeling that pump?
Yeah, you barely raise my arms.
I know, right? And we have 2 sets left with the bicep curls. This is going to be very difficult. There we go.
Oh, dang.
I don't know if you all agree with me out there, but this is one of the hardest 20-minute HIIT workouts I've done to date. Raising my band size.
That's that balance.
Oh yeah. Raising that band size makes all the difference in the world because I'm using a heavier gauge today. And I'm feeling it. Final 5 seconds on the bicep. Oh, there we go. Woo.
What's next? Calf raises.
Here we go. We're on to the final exercise of this workout. Woo. Pretty simple one. Almost feels like the jog to the finish line. You're still going to feel it on those final 2 sets, but these first 2, it's feeling nice. It's a nice little breather. Cool down before the end of our 20-minute HIIT workout. For those of you who are following along, you're doing an amazing job. We single bicep salute you. Yeah. You can see we're not quite as in sync as we were at the beginning of this workout because we're just trying to get through it at this point.
It's getting close.
Ooh. 2 more sets.
Yeah, it always does. The last 2 sets, always the worst. Burns like crazy.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, here we go. We're going to make it through. That means you are too. Thanks for doing it along with us. We're going to give you a nice digital fist bump when we're done with this thing.
Yeah.
We can both, we'll fist bump the screen and you can do it as well.
Yep.
Oh, there we go.
Nice. Damn, my arms are like swole.
I'm feeling feeling toy. Final set.
Yeah, here we go.
The 20-second countdown begins. Me and Brandon are going to try to do this one in unison. There we go. The buff band is back together. And my calves are feeling.
On fire.
2, 1.
Nice.
Congratulations, everybody. Thanks for doing it along with us. We did it. Hell yeah. Here's that digital fist bump.
Another successful.
Great job.
Instagram. Nice. I'm not punching it down, fist bumping But we're going to do a little Q&A over
Good job.
Buff Dudes Workout YouTube channel and also Facebook. So if you want to join in, tune into those. But for now, we're going to sign out on Instagram. Thanks, guys, for joining in. And we will see you soon.
Ooh, nice. And Brandon's going to come over here really quick.
Yeah. I'm going to take this call. Okay. Awesome job, guys. That was great. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I know I did. We'll do a little bye-bye Mo hit from YouTube. I'll see you. Thanks for joining in. Is this actually live? Dwayne says from YouTube, yes, it is. It is a live workout that we just did. And now we're going to do a live Q&A. All right. Let's see. Oh, no. CTL Fitness from YouTube says, I just woke up. And not too long ago, sorry, I didn't work out with you guys. Hey, no worries. It happens. You know, sometimes I'd rather sleep in on Saturdays, but, you know, if you ever do want to join in, set your alarm clock. Make sure you get up in time for a 9 a.m. Pacific workout because we'll be here. All right. Troy from YouTube, nice job, guys. Tough workout. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you agree because it definitely feels pretty damn tough. We'll switch spots here. Okay. Mr. Swagtastic, $5 donation. Thank you so much, Mr. Swagtastic. Cool name, by the way. What's good from, what was that, Colorado? Your dumbbell workouts got me to 276 from 350. I'm doing shoulders today. Keep it up, fellas. Well, that's awesome. Really good news, and that's a hell of a drop. So keep that up, man. That is sweet, and we'll keep it up on our end too.
Great job, Mr. Swagtastic.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. I had to blow my damn nose running.
Tommy from Facebook says, how do you decide the order of exercises? That's a great question. Usually we'll do it with largest body part first, and then we'll kind of descend from there. So legs, back, chest, so on and so forth through the end. Killerman551 from YouTube says, my first Saturday workout, and apparently this was the hardest you've done. Well, thank you for joining us.
You want to go closer?
And it was a little hard. Yeah, that's for damn sure. The nice thing with the mobility bands, as I mentioned, is you can get a little lighter on the mobility bands if you'd like. Probably adjust the brightness just a little bit here. Now that we're so close, let's fix this a little bit. There we go.
Okay. That's a little better. You want me to answer one here?
Oh, yeah, sure.
YouTube, the real ruler at 2112. Doesn't matter what hand-arm motion you use when doing squats. Brandon goes into a praying mantis more while Hudson and Michaela both do their arms out in front of them. It doesn't really matter. Whatever feels the best for you. It's really just kind of balancing out your posture, making sure you're in the right position. So, yeah, it's not really a big deal. Just whatever works best for you.
And Babita on YouTube says, how supersets are performed? Please explain. Well, thankfully, yeah. Babita, supersets are very easily performed. What you're basically doing is you're going from one exercise immediately onto the next with no rest in between. And then after having performed those two exercises back to back, then you'll take your traditional rest before going ahead and repeating the exact same thing.
Yeah. And there's also stuff called like tri-sets or giant sets where you're performing 3 exercises in a row without any rest in between, or even 4 exercises in a row without any rest between. So there's kind of different versions of it, but supersets, probably one of our favorites.
Oh, yeah.
Probably one of the more, I guess, popular ones or more well-known ones. But yeah, like you said, thankfully it's easy to do-ish, but it's hard to perform because it definitely takes a lot out of you.
And Robert from Facebook says, great workout, guys. Great way to start a Saturday. I'm feeling it for sure. Well, that's awesome, Robert. Happy to hear that. The Kingdom of Animals from YouTube says, can you explain drop sets to me?
Oh, yeah. Drop sets, kind of like the name explains, what you're doing is you're going to be dropping your weight down each set. So usually they're done in kind of different ways, but what I like to use them for, or how I perform them, or we do, I should say, for the most part, is perform a set in your working rep range. Let's say you're trying to go for around 10 repetitions and you know, sometimes it's easier to perform them on a machine so you can drop the weight easily on the stack. Or if you have a great workout partner, he can help drop the weights for you. So it's done in a quick succession there. But what you can do is perform your 10 repetitions with your weight. And then once you reach that kind of fatigue point at that 10 repetitions, you're going to drop some weight off the bar or drop the weight in the stack.
The weight that you drop kind of depends on what you want to do or what your strength levels are, but you really want to try to hit another 10 repetitions or just hit failure. And then you drop again, and it depends on how many drops you want to do. You could either do 2 drops, 3 drops, so on. And you're just completely demolishing your muscles and fatiguing them like crazy and forcing them to go that extra mile by dropping to a lighter weight.
And Michael from Facebook says, thanks for the workout again. My wife and I are always looking forward to this. Well, that's awesome, Michael. And Andre from YouTube says, got up early today. You guys totally motivated me down from 240 to 213.
Nice.
You guys keep me motivated. Got out early with you for the first time. Hello from Tijuana, Mexico. Well, thank you, Andre, and hope you enjoyed it. That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Clint said from YouTube says, I've been doing other online trainers. First time I've seen you dudes. Just subscribed. I will be on this from Mile High City. Well, hello, Clint.
John from YouTube, here you go. Supersets are old news. Only giant sets. Thanks, Rock. From now on. Yeah, exactly. If you tried those giant sets, we did a Dwayne Johnson Black Adam workout not too long ago on the Buff Dudes workout channel, and he does giant sets, which are he does 4 exercises in a row without any rest, and it almost feels like a circuit in a way, and it definitely gets a lot of blood, flushes those muscles with tons of blood, so you get a really good pump, and you can done it in a short amount of time. So it's not quite as short as this one maybe, and it's not as many exercises. But it's done, it definitely flushes that body with a ton of blood and get a damn good pump. So if you want to try, you should.
JM Miller from Facebook says, yo guys, can we get a shout out for Dunbarton in Scotland? Well, hello, JM. Yeah. And thank you all for joining. We apologize if we do miss a few comments. Sometimes there's quite a few coming in because they're on Facebook and YouTube, but you can always ask again if we miss it.
Yeah, Titus from YouTube, still staying buff with my stone-made home gym. Well, hell yeah, that's awesome. I know we did like a concrete-made gym not too long ago. I don't know if you've seen that, but yeah, it's amazing what you can do with really anything and make a gym out of it. So that's awesome to hear.
And Richard from YouTube says, hi dudes, I recently bought your Bodyweight workout book. I'm really enjoying it so far. I can't wait to see where this will take me. Thanks a lot for the motivation and all you're doing. That's nice. And hope you enjoy the book.
Hopefully you did this Bodyweight. And if you did, I mean, because we kind of were talking about giving a little bit of a tally on who did Bodyweight, who did band, but it is so surprising how much of a good workout you can get with just Bodyweight. So that's good to hear that you got the plan. Hopefully you enjoy it.
David from Facebook says, you guys are awesome, and I've recently started working out, and your videos have really helped. Thank you for everything you guys do. Well, that's awesome, David. Yeah. Thanks for letting us know, and good luck.
Not doing meth. Hey, I remember you. I'm glad you're still not doing meth. From YouTube says, would you guys do a lifting competition against The Rock? Absolutely. Anytime, anywhere. I would love to.
Yeah, we're down. Yep. The Rock's down, we're down.
Yep.
Mike from Facebook says, you guys should make a finance-related video since you were talking in your last video about irresponsible credit card purchases. You know, that is, yeah. And I feel that, Mike, that's a great comment. I feel that that's a lot of things that maybe teenagers or people in their early 20s can slip into, at least for us. You don't get a lot of financial knowledge maybe through traditional means such as high school. At least we didn't. That may have changed since then. So
I don't think it has.
Yeah.
I think it's usually that, you know, you teach them about science, biology, not to say that those are bad subjects, but unfortunately you might not use them as much as you would, let's say, how to do your taxes, how to balance a checkbook. I mean, maybe not checkbook necessarily, but your bank account.
Yeah.
What you should really focus on, what's in, you know, spending that maybe you should, you know, certain spending that's not as important as other spending, stuff like that. But
that's the hard thing, because when you start digging that hole, that financial hole into debt, it's hard to get out of. And that's another subject that maybe we will look into, Mike. So great comment. But yeah, that's I think that's something everyone does need to know.
Absolutely. Paulie from Facebook, what workouts do you guys recommend doing with wrist pain? Well, first I would say try to figure out what's giving you the wrist pain. That's probably the most important thing. Is whenever you're going through any kind of pain or discomfort in any kind of joints, I think the smartest idea is to figure out what's giving you that pain, what the issue is. It could be lack of mobility in your wrists. It could be lack of mobility in your shoulders, radiating down to your wrist. It could be a certain exercise, maybe you're doing barbell curls that put your wrist in a position that's really that you're not meant for. So maybe you could go to hammer curls. Whatever it is, first diagnose what's giving you that pain or certain exercises, and then go from there. But wrist strengthening exercises are going to be good, obviously, to take care of helping to stabilize that joint there, so you can implement some of those and hopefully it gets better pretty soon.
Daniel from Facebook says, thank you guys. Love the Saturday morning pump. I use it all week long in my routine. You guys are great encouragement. Well, that's awesome, Daniel. Thanks. And Vladimir from YouTube says, greetings from Russia. Greetings, Vladimir.
Yeah. Volgograd.
And
That sounds cool.
It sounds very cool. And Moz from Facebook says, dudes, can you do a meetup with us? We would absolutely love to. Once, fingers crossed, the vaccinations for COVID works out and everything, we would love to meet up with everybody, maybe do something really special. A Buff Dudes barbecue.
I know, right?
Yes.
A workout, a barbecue, it's just everyone's having a good time and just being cool and buff
and flexing. Yeah. James from YouTube says, I love the Buff Dudes. I watch you guys since I was 16. You guys show great workouts for us in lockdown. Well, that's
right
awesome,
on.
James.
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking with us. Yeah. CTL Fitness from YouTube says, are cheat curls good? Sometimes I do them at the end of the set if I can't complete the whole exercise with good form. See that? You're in the right direction. Yeah, because CTL, the problem is
using them correctly.
Exactly. Those are where we agree that cheat curls can be a benefit.
Yeah. Arnold was a pretty big advocate of cheat curls, and I think I don't know if he popularized them, but he definitely believed in them quite a bit. And I remember doing them quite a bit too when I was first starting out. I don't do them as much now. You do have to be careful of them, obviously, because it depends on how much you're cheating. You can get quite a bit of lower back extension or even hyperextension there, so you got to be really careful depending on the strength in your lower back, or even the amount of weight you're doing with the curls. You don't obviously want to pull or tear a bicep tendon or muscle, so you still have to be very careful. So use them wisely for sure.
It really is kind of an understanding of your own body, and like Brandon was saying, knowing how much you should cheat, because as obviously if you're just putting all your lower back, really swinging it up. But if you're getting maybe 3/4 of the rep and you just want to bust out an extra 1 or 2, we don't have a real problem with that personally.
Absolutely. Do you guys, let's see, Aurora from YouTube, do you guys have stretching routines you use before working out? We don't really do stretching before workouts. We would really recommend doing dynamic warm-ups or mobility before your workouts, and doing any kind of light stretching after workouts. But you really look into stretching, and it can definitely be beneficial to help with tight muscles. But I think the more important should be in your dynamic warm-ups or mobility for sure.
Tommy Truck from YouTube says, hello, Buff Dudes from Norway. Hello, Tommy.
Hello,
That's
Tommy.
Both my son's name and one of his favorite things in the world. So
Nice.
Tommy Truck.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got a lot of great comments here. Eric from YouTube says, have you all had to deal with stretch marks while building muscle?
Yes.
We have.
Yeah, actually, I got quite some pretty gnarly ones. Sorry to get the armpit. I don't know if you can see them, but a lot of people will be like, oh, have you had shoulder surgery? And I was like, no, they're actually just stretch marks, especially right here and here, right under the kind of in the armpit area. So yeah, absolutely, we dealt with stretch marks. It's hard because you kind of hit that stage where we gained quite a bit of weight at one point fairly quickly when we were younger in our kind of like late teen.
It was first for me, it was during puberty, because strangely enough, I got some stretch marks on my hips. Yeah. I was like, what the hell is this? Because you don't really know as a kid, and you're like, what's wrong with me? Is this like scarring or something? So the great news is they do fade over time. I had some insecurities with it in my teenage years, because of course you're trying to lift, you're trying to look good, and then you get stretch marks. You're like, wait a sec, so I was punished for trying to get bigger? But they fade a lot. You can barely see them now, if at all. So if you're dealing with it yourself, the great news is they do fade over time. And we have a lot of awesome comments, so we apologize if we're getting a little behind. Real Ruler 2112 from YouTube says, I went from 255 to 212 because of you guys, but I've been dealing with tennis elbow since December and back to 220. Any exercises I can do without making it worse other than leg only?
Sometimes you just have to take some time off. You dealt with, I dealt with that when I was young, around like 19 or 20, but you dealt with that kind of more recently, I guess, in a way.
I did. It was when we were kind of early into doing Buff Dudes, a couple of years of doing it. And, I hate to say it. I know this is going to bum you out, but I just really had to avoid any elbow related exercises. I got a little bit of a compression and elbow compression. You can find them on Amazon, Target, in store. That helped. I wouldn't say it was like the thing that made it better. Really, for me, it was just rest and recovery. And of course, taking it very light. There's a few things that I avoid now that I used to do. I would jump right into skull crushers. As Brandon was saying, we're big advocates of dynamic warm-ups and mobility. For me, that's made all the difference in the world. So I don't just jump right into the heavier exercises. Do a lot of warm-up. I'll do a couple feel-out sets, and I haven't dealt with tennis elbow since then. And that would be my advice.
Yeah, sometimes it radiates down because if maybe you have a little bit of a lack of shoulder mobility or even wrist mobility, the L might try to compensate a bit, and it can create some tension, pressure, even issues in there. So yeah, definitely, like Hudson was saying, do your mobility, especially in your shoulders and even wrist, and that hopefully in the long run will get you better quicker.
Mattia from YouTube says, hey dudes, Mattia from Milan here, been following since the LA Backyard Days. Keep up the great job. Hell yeah.
We miss those days. Those are fun.
We want to bring them back.
Yeah. Craig from London, great videos, guys, from Facebook as well. Great videos, guys. Great advice. Keep up the awesome work. Thank you, Craig.
Hell
Appreciate
yeah.
it. Over the pond. Nice.
Jazzy from YouTube says, hey dudes, I'm new to working out. Can you clarify if for the superhero plan, stage 1, week 2, since it's less reps per set, are we supposed to up the weight? Thanks guys for all you do.
You always do, yes, you always do want to do that progressive overload, and that's why you'll tend to see that in a lot of our programs where maybe one phase or stage is a little bit higher in repetitions, and sometimes that's really to work out your form so you're not going too heavy. Also, really the feeling of the exercise and the feeling of the muscle to get you in tune with that, and then the next stage or phase, you'll go down in reps but up in weight. So now you'll be able to handle more load because your form is a little bit more correct and because you have a little bit more mind-muscle connection in what you're doing, and you can really benefit a little bit more with the heavier weights at that point. So yeah, absolutely. Try to up your load a little bit for sure.
And Alex from YouTube says, have you guys ever considered making an old school beat 'em up or fighting video game using all the lactic?
We actually did.
Yeah.
We were in the process of
two separate occasions.
I know. Unfortunately, it fell through, but yeah, that would have been pretty cool.
We have a lot of the concept art still available. We had even some of the game mechanics lined out. I mean, we were really excited about it, but
because it was one of those things where we wanted the game, but also kind of a teaching tool as well.
Yeah,
so you still learn stuff along the way
Yeah.
and get tips and all this kind of stuff. But it just didn't.
There's going to be some like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater style grinding, but it was like with squats and overhead press.
Yeah,
kind of
to keep it right in the line.
Yeah.
You know, your elbows kind of come in. And,
Damn.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting giddy thinking about it again. Warhammer from YouTube says, greetings from Michigan. Thanks for the inspiration. Went from 300 to 219 and I've never felt better. That's amazing, Warhammer.
That's a huge accomplishment. Good job.
And hope all is well in Michigan as well. Never had a chance to visit the state, but we'd love to one day. Valentine from Facebook says, hello from Romania, dudes.
Romania.
Hello.
Nice. Thank you for Romanian deadlifts. We love those.
Exactly.
One of our favorite exercises.
Catching up on some comments. Babita from YouTube says, thanks for the Rock Black Adam workout. Well, we should thank The Rock for that.
That's true. That's true. Him and his trainer. Yeah, they did a good job.
Exactly.
Obviously, it's paying off because he looks great.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. We have a lot.
Wow. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. We got behind on the comments here.
Yeah. Apologize if we're a little behind. Shred from YouTube says, have you guys ever watched Vikings? Some of the actors remind me of Hudson. LOL. It's funny you should say that. My wife actually just blew through the whole series. I watched.
She finished it?
She did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she watched the whole thing. So if you need a expert in the fields of the TV show Vikings, you can just ask my wife.
Absolutely.
Maybe because the characters reminded her of me. I don't know.
Bruce from YouTube, do you guys have all your workout programs available somewhere? 31 from Missouri and love your videos. Bruce, actually, yeah, go to buffdudes.us. All of our workout programs are there. So it's either PDF version or an actual book version that you can purchase and get a physical copy. So depends on what you want, what you need, but we got quite a few there. So
hell yeah. Messi from YouTube says, hello from Newfoundland. Stay buff. Yeah. And Alex from YouTube says, you should revive those game ideas, especially with the multitude of indie designers out there. Alex,
we need a game designer that
gets us
right.
I know. It's like,
understands.
I think it would have to be someone who is kind of a fan of what we do. Yeah. So it's almost like they would say, we know you, we love what you guys do. Let's kind of merge the minds.
I feel like the angry video game nerd, if you guys know that, him on YouTube, he's had a few games developed in, through that character, and they did a damn good job. I mean, I haven't played them, but I've seen some of the demos of it, and it's like they got it, they understood, and he helped develop it much like we would love to help develop a game too, and it pays off when the developer really understands.
Yeah, you're on the same page.
Absolutely.
Fresh from YouTube says, sup guys, love from Milwaukee. Hey, Fresh. Tadias, and I probably totally screwed up your name. I apologize. I wish my wife was here right now. Yeah. From Facebook says, hello from Frombork, Poland. Wow. That's an awesome sounding name.
Yeah.
I've been to Malbork, actually, the castle. That was an amazing experience.
Frombork, is that some kind of...
Maybe it's similar.
Yeah, maybe
you'll have to let us know.
Yeah, sure.
Mark from Facebook says, greeting from the Great White North, Edmonton, Alberta. Oh, wow. Thanks for the amazing workout, guys. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you very much, Mark.
Andrew from YouTube. Hey, guys, love from Dominican Republic. You are amazing. Well, thank you. You're amazing, too. Appreciate it.
And Gaz from YouTube says, How do you deal with times when you don't feel like training? The training blues.
The training blues. That motivation, man, the inspiration. That's what we all deal with from time to time. You get down on yourself or you just get kind of like bored maybe. I would say reassess your goals. Try to really get a vision of what you want to look like, what your goals want to be, whether that be breaking a PR, whether that be losing weight, gaining muscle, and, obviously draw inspiration from other people. Maybe take a physique that you like, hey, that's kind of my dream physique and I want to kind of look like that person. Or, whatever it is, and then change your workout program and just get re-inspired and fall in love with the gym again. And I think we've been through that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. And sometimes you just need to take a little time off.
Yeah.
Adrian from YouTube says, how is the... Oops, I just lost a comment. How's the DIY Duke Buff Dudes Power Rack holding up? Any tips on maintaining it? Yeah, it's holding up great. I mean, as far as maintenance, really, we know its limits. We don't overload it too much. I mean, we've gotten up to 405 a couple times. That's about the most we've done, but man, it's held up awesome.
Yeah.
Real Ruler 2112 from YouTube says, programmer here, though I haven't done many games. LOL at Brandon. Angry video game rules, but never thought you guys would know him.
We grew up in that kind of, the SNES and NES and all that, Sega. We grew up with that. So it's kind of cool to see another guy that obviously grew up with that too.
And also rages at all the games he hates.
I know, because you go through that as a kid, but you don't really think about it as a kid. It's just so frustrating. But then when you grow up, you're like, well, no wonder. These games are glitched in a lot of ways. They're like so crazy, but it's just funny. It's a lot of fun.
And Tommy Truck,
Tommy Truck,
50 knock donation, NDK, I should say.
Yeah.
If buff dudes love old school training so much, why not do it 24/7? Is it all the milk stopping it? It is definitely the milk stopping it, Tommy. That's
which is funny because everything else is amazing. Like that
Yeah.
steak omelet, and I mean the foods they ate were awesome, and the amount of foods. I mean, I could easily eat like that all the time. But yeah, it was the gallon a day. I don't think I could handle that. I'm actually currently bulking at the moment. I'm doing around 4,500 to 5,000 calories a day, and I'm not having anywhere near a gallon of milk. I'm having a pretty good amount, but man, yeah, it still does quite a. Your stomach is turning a little bit during the day.
Victoria from YouTube says, love, hungry, love that I can watch them back. Full lockdown here for a while, so at least I have something that I am willing to do someday. Well, thank you very much, Victoria, for joining us.
Heck yeah. And Messi from YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$10 donation. Thank you very much.
Nice.
Unrelated, but what's your guys' all-time favorite video game?
Ooh, man. Mass Effect was huge for me. And that I loved. I played through all that. The ending, pretty big disappointment, as I found out that everyone else thought too. And then of course the new one that came out after that was kind of a disappointment too. But that trilogy was really cool. I really got into that. I was surprised how much I got into that game.
Yeah, I would say for me, I mean, The Witcher 3, Red Dead Redemption 2, those are some of the newer ones. Yeah. We're fans of like the Gears of War, the multiplayer aspect. Old school, I mean, there's so many.
I know.
Final Fantasy 6, yeah.
For me,
yeah, that'd probably be my. Let me see.
we
kind of just
like,
whoa.
I know, right?
Because we could go off on that for too long.
Yep.
Michael from YouTube says, Buff greetings from Germany. What would you suggest for treating hip strain?
Oh man, again, it kind of depends on where in the hip. There's a lot of in the hip. The psoas is a pretty big hip flexor, and that's usually sometimes that can cause a little bit of pain there. But a lot of muscles connecting the hip, your quads, your hamstrings, your glutes, that's a pretty powerful section. Those, depending on what it is, one, take a little time off probably. Make sure you're not doing any kind of heavy lifting, any heavy deadlifts or squats. Do some light mobility, maybe do some walking or something like that. But again, it depends on where the pain's coming from, what the strain is. But yeah, it's never a bad idea to just take it easy a little bit, for sure.
And David from Facebook says, what's up from Nova Scotia's Canada? Hey, David. And also saw a comment saying no Halo. Actually, we have played quite a bit of Halo.
That is true. Well, the problem is about Halo is that we actually didn't have an Xbox for a long time. So we weren't like, a lot of people got into it when Halo first came out. And I can see why. It was a really fun game because now I've actually played it. I got the Master Chief Edition on Xbox One, and I played through the whole thing. It's a lot of fun. Now I can see why everyone was so obsessed with it. So that is cool. But I just don't have the nostalgia I a lot of other people do. So I think that probably hurts a little bit.
And
I'm trying to read the name.
I know.
Vori
Lenas from YouTube. $5 donation. Thank you
you.
very much. It says, I asked my physical therapist while in the hospital about Turkish get-ups with kettlebells. Ever try them? She mentioned they are tough. I
Yes.
have. I actually was at a gym in Poland, and I had someone who, spaced on his name at the moment, but he was kind of an expert in the field of Turkish get-ups, and he showed them very in depth.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, every tiny little thing I did wrong, he was right on top of it. And it was hard as hell. And I haven't done them since, but man, there is that is one exercise that you really got to learn the in and outs of. So maybe we'll do it again one day, but we have done it and it's very hard.
That is very technique heavy for sure, but it can be very good. I can see why your physical therapist would recommend it, because I've heard that physical therapist will recommend that movement, that kind of movement, and it teaches you a lot about yourself and how to really stabilize yourself. So yeah, it's very important.
Bruce Spear from YouTube says, Buff Duke, how is he doing? He's doing well,
Yep.
and he's going to be in one of our videos coming out on
Yeah,
Monday.
absolutely.
It's going to be another Can We Survive a Movie versus Reality? So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Definitely. That was a lot of fun. Let's see. And Vanguard from YouTube, any advice for someone with permanent foot injury and doing squats? Well, it kind of depends on what your foot injury is. It's obviously permanent, so it's not like you're going to be able to work through to make it better, it sounds like. You know, it's hard. It's hard to make those recommendations without really knowing the full extent of your injury. But that's when you consult, obviously, a specialist, someone that can really.
It's nice when you have someone there in person.
Yeah, to work you through it. And sometimes they might say, you know, squats might be out of the picture, you know, so you're going to have to find different alternatives. But yeah.
Chuck McBuffins from YouTube says, ever played God of War? If not, totally recommend it. Well, I have news for you,
Yes.
Chuck. Look up God of War Ascension trailer on YouTube, and you're going to get a real surprise. So one of us didn't play it. One of us actually lived it.
Yeah.
So
but also played it.
yeah, that's true. So check it out.
It was kind of a trip.
Exactly. I think you're going to like that. So Joshua from YouTube says, Joshua and Marielle here from Fort Worth, Texas. Hey,
Nice.
just
Ooh,
started.
that's awesome.
Yeah, following your meal prep plans and love them. Stay buff and thank you. Well, thank you, Joshua. And thanks for letting us know. Big Ace Anthony Crank from YouTube says, hey guys, just want to say thank you to you guys. I got a new PR on the deadlift. Thanks to you guys and following your program. Stay buff. Hell yeah.
Heck yeah. That always feels good, those PRs, man. It's that's like one of those things that we were talking about before, is to motivate you. I mean, there's certain things that can really revigorate your whole outlook on you know, lifting.
Sorry that we've gotten a lot of comments here, so apologize if we missed a few. Dario from YouTube says hello from Uruguay. Buff dudes, yeah.
Nice.
Hope all is well. Let's see. We're just catching up on a few really quick here. Let's see. Sanket from YouTube says, hey, buff dudes, love and support from India. Chris from YouTube says, any advice for cutting at university with all the drinking?
Stop drinking.
You read my mind. I was about to say the same thing.
You know, the peer pressure, man. That's hard. All that partying
and if you really want to kind of continue to socialize, something that me and Brandon's been doing lately with really great results, just get super light beer.
Yeah.
I mean, light beer. Yeah. We'll have like a Corona Premier and at least something for me that really helped with cutting. Resist the urge to snack if you're going to drink, because that was my biggest downfall. I'd have some beer, then I'd want some nuts to go along with it. And then all of a sudden I've had 1,500 calories right before bed. It's just not a good place to find yourself in. So super light beer with jerky.
Exactly.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah. Ooh, $10.
Oh, nice. Yeah. BCW Homer. Nice. From YouTube. Thanks from Rose for the 3rd birthday wish a few weeks ago. You are her favorite on YouTube. Every time she sees you, she says, stable.
Yeah. Thank you, Rose.
Well, yeah, thank you very much.
That is amazing.
Tell her hi. Riza from YouTube says, yo, dudes, I'm currently running your 12-week plans at phase 2 now. Well, good luck. Yeah. And, you know, we do apologize. We still got this small screen, so we're like, we got to get our bigger one set up here. Johan from Facebook says, greetings. Nice.
Get buffer. Are you getting buffer or are we getting buffer?
Either all.
Everyone's getting buffer.
Exactly. Let's see. Andras from YouTube says, hey, guys, what do you think about white bread? Flex dude from Hungary.
White bread. I mean, I don't know. I usually just don't go for white bread. I'm not, you know, it's usually a little bit more processed. So we usually go for wheat, sourdough, stuff like that. So it kind of depends. I mean, it's not going to kill you or anything. I mean, it probably wouldn't hurt necessarily if you really, truly like white bread, but I would probably say just watch the amount of it. And if in doubt, just switch to wheat bread or sour bread.
I was scarred for life because as a kid, one of my teachers told me when you eat white bread, it sticks to the lining of your stomach and never leaves. So it like psychologically scarred me.
You know, it sticks in my top of my mouth when I try to eat. That's what I like. I'm like, yeah, it's so like, you know.
Jazz 429 with the $9.99 donation.
Nice. We'll just call it $10.
Well, that's true.
Nice.
#1 fan.
Yeah. Let's see. Mo from YouTube, any advice to a skinny dude trying to bulk up? Eat.
Yeah.
Make sure and eat and track it. Make sure what you're having and be consistent with it. The problem is you can feel like you eat a lot, but you really don't. Once you start tracking, you're like, oh, well, I'm not having enough. And tracking is going to make sure you're either having the right amount or maybe too much or too little. So just make sure you track it, make sure you're consistent with it, and make sure you really fine tune it as you progress. So.
And Aurora from YouTube says, tuna melt with the white rolls. Yeah. Speaking of stomach lined, it's like half my stomach is filled with that stuff. I don't think it's ever leaving.
Not at this point.
I'm a little upset with that.
Yeah.
Mackie from Facebook says, greetings from Philippines. Stay buff. You guys encourage me to work out.
Yeah.
And H554 from YouTube says, thanks for helping us stay buff here in Sweden. How important is stretching after workouts?
It's not as important as you would think, honestly. Really try to get the full range of motion in your exercises. Really work on the mobility and the dynamic warmers. Mobility and dynamic warmers are definitely more important. You can do mobility. You don't have to just do mobility before your workouts. You can do mobility on your days off. You can do it after your workouts. That's going to be more important because it's working in that stretch position, but it's more dynamic. It's working through ranges of motion, things like that. And it's really making sure those joints are able to go in those proper movements and nothing's too tight. So yeah, pay more closer attention to mobility rather than stretching. But obviously you can still do stretching if you like it and enjoy it and it feels good for sure. But yeah, you can do foam rolling, like the myofascial release, mobility, dynamic warm, stuff like that.
Godfrey from Facebook says, much love from New Zealand, guys. Love the content and the workouts you guys post up. Well, thank you very much, Godfrey. Let's see. Every once in a while, all the comments just kind of come in for us, so we apologize if we get a little behind. Eric from YouTube says, Hudson, how do you... let me see right here. Hudson, how do you start editing videos, and do you have any tips for beginners? Yeah.
Because you taught me, and I was an absolute beginner.
Yeah.
If I can do it, then that goes to show he's a good teacher.
Brandon's being a little nice to himself. I'm actually a little scared that maybe he's taking the editing crown. So now it's a competition.
Healthy competition.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like lifting,
healthy, Yeah, because you better yourself in the process. But I would recommend, of course, with the editing program I got started off with, and then of course Brandon too, is Adobe Premiere. And the great thing I got to say about editing, it's so easy, and then it just gets as difficult as you want it to be. So it's as simple as just dropping clips into the timeline. They've continued to make it easier and easier throughout the years. So my thing would just be have fun with it. What I would recommend, shoot a whole bunch of backyard footage, shoot some funny scenes of yourself, maybe working out, doing whatever you want to do, and then grab a great soundtrack, put it underneath the clips, and begin. It's like forming a puzzle basically, and you just have a hell of a lot of fun with it. That's another subject we could literally go on hours and hours, but actually we really could. But just get started with the timeline. Adobe Premiere, I believe they'll give you a 30-day trial. Just mess with it. It's a lot easier to start than you think it is.
Timothy from YouTube, your thoughts about chest-supported rows? So you'll see some of those like T-bar rows or even like those seated. It's like all of those hammer strength machines. I do really like it. It kind of isolates the back a little bit more, but the problem is sometimes you'll feel a little bit compression in your chest, so it can be a little uncomfortable. So yeah, use it with caution, but you can't go wrong with just normal bent over rows.
And Phoenix 72 from YouTube says, yes or no on processed foods? We would definitely say no.
Yeah.
The less amount of processed foods you can use, the better.
Absolutely.
You can't go wrong with like the single ingredient whole food stuff. And that can get a little, like anything in life, maybe boring after a time, but the great thing is spices come into play and you're getting to become a better cook, which is amazing.
Definitely.
That's something you'll use for the rest of your life.
Johnny from YouTube, does the arcade buff dudes cabinet actually play? Yes,
it does.
It does play. We just don't get to play it enough.
I know.
And there was like thousands and thousands of games on the emulators on there, and you just don't even.
We need to.
Yeah.
Puneet from YouTube with the 4,000 INR
whatever that is.
donation.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Wish I was a little bit more cultured.
I believe that's the rubies, correct?
Oh,
You can
that's
correct me if
cool.
I'm wrong.
That's cool. I like that name, the Rubies. Sounds cool.
It does.
Sounds
cooler
like
than
it's-
dollar.
Yeah. Sounds like we're playing Diablo and you get some. I don't know.
Exactly. One of our
Or
other
Zelda,
favorite
I don't
games
know.
of all
Yeah, that's
time.
true. That's true.
So Panit says, hey, Buff Dudes, what is your opinion on deep squats and how are they more effective than parallel squats? What's your best test boosters for men reaching 40s or over 40s? We don't have any
Test
really
boosters,
experience with test boosters.
Well, I would say the best for that is good sleep, good, eat well, and make sure you rest enough. Yeah, those are probably the best test boosters out there, natural ones. And as far as going to the squat depth, it is very important, but you got to remember your morphology. Some people can't go as low as others, depending on your femur length, your greater trochanter, like how it affects and hits where your hip is. So don't feel like you have to go ass to grass. A lot of people think they do, and that's what the whole like butt wing thing is when your hips start to rotate a little bit as you get into that lower depth squat. And I've been, I do that from time to time. I try to think I have to go really low, but your hips start to rotate, and that can put pressure on your lower back. So you have to be careful. So really film yourself so you can judge what your form is, self-examine, kind of in that way, and adjust accordingly. So go parallel. If you're really noticing that pretty big rotation in your hips there, if you're having pain in your lower back, if you don't feel like you can get to that deep squat, don't do it. It's fine.
What's really helped me out too is because, like Brandon was saying, sometimes you want to record yourself, and even then, when you're alone, sometimes you think you're going parallel, but you're really not. I just set up the squatter bars.
Yeah.
So that way, when you touch the bars, you're parallel, and then you don't really have to worry about that. Maybe if you're doing a quarter squat.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be, an easy way of getting that done. Stuart from YouTube says, greetings from England. Have either of you benched 405 or is it a goal? We have not, Stuart. And the bummer thing is there was a point in time
Bench
where
405?
Yeah, bench.
I have.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I've been
actually
like
didn't know that.
15 or 4 when I was.
Well, I'll be damned.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got that high. I was that because I was obsessed, and I was working out with a guy that he was like a huge bencher. So he pushed me like crazy. It was Tom Adams.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like when I was like 20, 21 at the time. And we just benched like crazy. And eventually I worked up to that high weight. I mean, looking back, I don't know how my form was or anything, but I was proud. I was like,
Still
damn, that's-
415.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
so.
I'm always bummed because I remember we were used to work out at that gym in Monster Muscle,
Mhm.
and I got up to 385, but I did I think, what was it, 3 reps? And
Yeah.
now at the day, it was the psychological thing for me.
Oh,
I kept thinking, I'll do 405 next, and I never did, and I'm always bummed I did it.
Dang it.
Paulo from Facebook says, Buff Dudes, what's your regular workout a week, such as how many days and how long, if you don't mind saying? Paulo, that can vary. Sometimes we'll do like a 5x5. Some days we'll do more like a hypertrophy base. I mean, we really have all our workouts on our YouTube channel if you want to check them out, either a cutting plan, bulking plan. It just varies upon the plan. But to answer your question, sometimes we'll do between 3 to 6 days a week. Usually we'll amp it up in intensity.
Absolutely. Saying Kent from YouTube, we got to answer you because it looks like
When all the caps are on,
Exactly.
I mean, someone's serious.
Someone's screaming. They're
Yeah.
okay.
Does a gap between dinner and breakfast matter for digestion? That was the question.
Yeah, that is the question. No, that's fine.
Okay, moving on. Just answer too. Football lover from YouTube. Does masturbation cause muscle loss? Well, if you're addicted to mustard,
Yeah.
and you're just masturbating all the time, just put mustard on everything, I don't really think it'll cause muscle loss, but it might lead to a loss of appetite.
But if you're talking about masturbation, then yes, it does. So be careful.
You'll lose all your muscles
Yeah.
instantly, absolutely, from the very first time. You'll never get back. Yeah.
You're screwed.
So Angel from YouTube says, how should I combine martial arts and weightlifting without overtraining? That's an excellent question, Angel. You'll probably just want to ease back on your weight.
Yeah.
training, to be
Yeah,
honest.
just adjust what your weight training is. And like you have to program accordingly, obviously, depending on your goals with your weight training, what you want to get out of it. If you want strength, if you want to just look good or feel good, that's going to dictate what kind of program you want. But if you're on like a 5-day-a-week intense bodybuilding type split with your training that's like high volume, that's probably going to be, mixed with your martial art training. Yeah, you're probably going to be overtraining. So just maybe back off. Try to do a 3-day-a-week weightlifting training, concentrate on bigger compound movements, and make sure you have enough rest.
And Fell Seeker from YouTube with a $5 donation. Thank you. Yeah. Any thoughts on the Eddie Hall versus Thor boxing match? I'm gonna watch it.
Oh yeah.
I don't know exactly my thoughts yet, but I'm definitely gonna watch it. I mean,
It'll be pretty interesting.
It's two big guys.
I know.
I'm
They're
more
either
excited
gonna gas in like
I know,
30
right?
seconds, or their head's gonna be blown.
It's gonna be an actual mountain versus red viper fight.
That's gonna be
Except with two
crazy.
mountains.
I know, right? Yeah.
I
I mean, it looks like Thor's lost pretty good amount of mass. You know, he's
Interesting.
probably because he's conditioning and stuff. And that's what's hard when you're working on that kind of conditioning, so you don't gas and you're able to go the distance. You know, obviously having that much mass is a lot harder. To have. So
I'm more excited for it than King Kong versus Godzilla.
I think that is the king. That's the real life King Kong.
It's true.
But who's King Kong and who's Godzilla?
we're gonna find out.
True.
Lifting Matt from YouTube says all caps is the way. Buff.
Yeah, the buff caps.
Yeah, buff caps.
That's true.
But let's have you have the last one in all caps.
That's true.
You're the final all caps man.
Yeah, there we go.
That crown has
That
been
was
given
it.
to you.
Which is actually it might be soon to call this Q&A. I think
I agree. It's a little past 10 here. Where
My
we're
water's
at.
out.
Yeah,
I have to take a leak.
the water's all gone
And
and,
we
it's
need our
all in the
protein.
bladder.
Yep.
So
We always love this though. We always love this part of the sessions, cool down, the Q&A.
it is, and that's a hard thing because there's so
I
many great
know,
questions.
I
I
know.
got to just answer a few more super fast. Joshua from YouTube says, my wife and I love your couples workout videos and was wondering if you all have ever thought of having Buff Babes videos catered towards women be a perfect idea to add to that. Yeah,
We've talked about it, you know, Aga as well as Michaela, obviously they're very interested in fitness. So they really do want to take a little bit more interest in fitness and you know, the kind of the buff dudes, buff girls, buff babes kind of idea and coming out with, you know, programs that are catered more to women. And this is the hard thing. This is the issue. A lot of things, well, women just do the same workouts as guys. And that's true. They can. It's not like you have to have a woman workout, a man workout. But sometimes
women have different goals.
Women have different goals. They're not going to work chest the same way guys do, or arms the same way. Maybe they want a little bit more glute-based workouts, which is pretty typical. And actually, it goes to show you that there's goals for, you know, different types of people. So in the future, we do want to come out with a more like, you know, buff girl type of program with the help of Aga.
Hit Michaela up,
Yeah.
and Aga on Instagram.
Absolutely. You got to get their ass, get their ass to Mars. No, get them motivated. And I think they'll really appreciate that. They like hearing the comments.
And Jacob from Facebook says, you guys are changing my life. I just started working out and I love it. I purchased your cutting plan on your website and I'm living by it religiously. Thank you guys for putting out the content.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah. Thank you, Jacob, so much.
Buff religion.
I know. That's
it.
That's awesome.
And
you know, loving all these comments,
Yeah.
but as Brandon said, I think it is time for us to call it a day.
Yep.
We'll be back next Saturday. Just huge thank you to all
I know, right?
for just joining in. We can't
Absolutely.
tell you how much we appreciate it. So
Thanks, guys.
we're gonna go use the bathroom. We're
Yeah.
gonna fight to see who can get in there first because it's time
About
for
to explode.
Yeah. So see you later, everyone.
Yeah.
Stay buff. See you next Saturday, 9 a.m. Pacific.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.